Welcome to Thursday. We're so close to the weekend. I'm Tim. This is a stream of my workouts. Doing a body transformation this year. Trying to see how. I can't think. All right, let's try this again. This is a stream of my workouts for the year. Doing a body transformation. Trying to see how good a shape I can get in without taking any sort of supplements. So that's not taking any protein supplements, no protein shakes, protein powders, not taking any creatine, no BCAAs, nothing extra, no pre workouts, just trying to get all my nutrients solely from the food that I eat. I'm not opposed to nutrients. Yep, definitely not opposed to nutrients, but I'm also not opposed to supplements. Not opposed to supplements. And, I've taken them in the past. I think they work great. I'm just not sure I need to take them in order to hit my current goals. So I just want to see what it was like to go a year without them. And yeah. And the secondary reason is that one of my kids started preschool, and preschool is expensive. So cutting out supplements saves me $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year, and every little bit helps, especially in this economy. I'm sure everyone is feeling the squeeze. So that's it. Today we're going to be working on doing the chest. And I haven't said this in a while, but just so there's no confusion, I am not a professional. I'm not a instructor or coach. This is just me doing my personal workouts. So I definitely encourage you, if you're looking for if you're looking for actual instruction, I would encourage you to go look somewhere else. What you're gonna see from me is just what I do. I don't have the best form always. I don't do everything perfectly. It's pretty rough, but it's not meant to be like instructions on how to do specific workouts. It's just show what I'm doing and the results that I'm getting. So that's it. Please don't do what I do and hurt yourselves. Start out with warming up with the 10-pound weights. I'm so excited that it's leg day is past, but man, I definitely feel it. Pardon me. There we go. I guess it's here in the States, moved into fire season. I'm on the West Coast, so of California, we get a good amount of wildfires. And one of the things I realized is that at some point I may have difficulty working out in the garage because there have been times in the past where that it gets so smoky outside that it definitely comes in here. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but it doesn't seem like we're going to get through fire season unscathed. What's funny is I like grew up when we didn't have as many like wildfires. It wasn't as big of a problem. It just wasn't something maybe that you heard about as much. But when when I was a kid, like I'd always see about like tornado season and tornado alley in the Midwest, and how they had to deal with tornadoes, and there were always stories about floods, like flooding in Florida or flooding throughout the Midwest, and you see pictures of whole cities just covered in water. And I always thought, man, how do you live with that? And now, like for the last few years, like we just get fire season in Northern California, and you have your house organized so that you can evacuate quickly. You have your, you deal with the with the fire and the smoke and stuff. Um, and you just deal with it. It just becomes a normal part of your life, and it's weird how much you can learn to deal with a problem that you didn't have before, just because every day for you. I always think it's funny is I'm old enough, like that when I go to the beach, when I go to the beach with my kids, I'm always surprised and shocked when I pull out my phone and there's service. Because for years, when there'd be like, even when there'd be decent cell phone service in the city, like there's no way there'd ever be cell phone service at the beach. And it's so weird to me to pull out my phone and be able to like text pictures to my wife and stuff from the beach of the kids playing, and that's just so different. I go backpacking. Uh, I know that one year I'm gonna go out to where we're supposed to be perfectly isolated, and there's gonna be a cell phone tower. Well, that won't be necessary thanks to SpaceX, but we'll see. I had that practice fire drills with my kids, and might sound silly, but it is definitely like semi emotional when you're doing it. Like obviously, I try not to show like the emotion for the kids, but it's a little sad. All right, so I'm switching up to the 50-pound dumbbells. And nothing, it makes me sadder. One of the saddest things about being a parent is having to teach your kids about the bad things in the world. And that's rough. Especially when, like, I know, like, for me, like, when I learned about bad things as a kid, it become very obsessed with it. It was hard to get out of my brain. But that's why it's important, you have a plan. All right, 50 pounds, 22.67 kilograms, 22.67 kilograms. When I was a kid, like there was all these stories about churches getting blown up, and so I would obsess in church about bad guys coming in, and would like be looking around, trying to figure out how I would fight all these bad guys. And I was probably like 6 or 7 at the time. And I was in 8th grade when Columbine shooting happened in Colorado. And so that became like the big obsession when you were in school. I was trying to figure out how you would survive. I just don't want that for my kids. I got a little choked up, when I found out that they were doing active shooter drills at my kids' preschool. That was very rough to realize. Thankfully, they weren't like telling them what they were doing. Good morning or good day to whoever popped in. Hope you're doing well. Just busting out the bench press today. Working on the 50 pounds. Doing sets of 15 or 22.67 kilograms. If you are not in the United States and have a better understanding of the metric system. Oh man. Here we go. Here we go again. Again. What's up, Polybox 2? Polybox 2 says hello, sir. How you doing? I think this is the first time since I started doing sets of 15 that I was able to do the 50 pounds. Nope, that's not true. All right. All right, so I did 3 sets of 15. That was the plan. I'm gonna move on to a 4th set. I just had a terrible day yesterday. Can you give me some motivational speech? Oh man, I would love to give you a motivational speech. Any particular problem? Just life in general. Yeah, it's funny is I was talking about this earlier, but like we just kind of jumped into fire season here in California, and yeah, fire is like raging in New Mexico as well. And it's funny because when I was a kid, I either just wasn't aware of fire season or just didn't happen a lot, and I never understood like we always had earthquakes as a potential in California, but we didn't have like raging fires. Wasn't something that we were really aware of. But I was aware of like in Oklahoma and through the Midwest, like they'd have tornadoes was a big thing, and they'd have tornado season, and that always just seemed like crazy to me. Like, why would you live around such insanity and things going bad? And now that it's getting more like that here, but with fires, it's just funny to me how you adjust and life, it just becomes a normal part of life. It becomes normal that partway through the year, the skies are going to be filled with smoke and you're going to be, brushing ash off your car, that you're going to, take pictures of all your belongings so that you're covered by your fire insurance, your homeowner's insurance. And it just becomes normal. And I think unfortunately, like as I go through life, I think it's something that's become a constant. Like the first time you lose someone, you're like, oh man, like that's such a horrible feeling. I hope it never happens again. and that horrible feeling never goes away, and then it happens again, happens again. But you just learn that that's a part of life, and you you have to make it a practice to appreciate the good things that you've got going for you. And you have to focus on those and things that you can control, because there's so many things that you can't control. But if you just work on those things that you can control, it makes those chaotic times better or easier. So like for me, I make sure that we have enough water in the house and food in the house, that if something happens, we'll be fine. We'll be okay. And I have my house organized so that if there's a fire, we can get out and be safe and be okay. And that helps me deal with the bad times. So I think whatever you're going through, I think figure out what you can do, do all that's in your power to secure your position, and then just enjoy that. Whatever the issue may be or whatever it may be terrible. Um, and then don't accept the status quo. If there's something you can change, if there's something you can make better. There's also there's a lot of life issues, um, like environmental issues, like a fire. It's not something you can necessarily control. You can control your risks and figure out how to best preserve yourself and your family. But yeah, there's life issues that you can control, like a bad boss or a bad relationship. And if those are your life issues, I definitely would suggest getting out of those and knowing that there are plenty of better situations out there. And if you are willing to cut yourself off from the bad, you can definitely find better situations. So do what you can to control, you know, what's in your ability, and then there's that whole thing is like don't worry about what you can't control. But I don't know if that's motivational. But I can tell you that I've seen a lot of bad things in my life and been through some pretty hard times. And on the other side, I'm still happy. I still enjoy life, and I'm eager to see all the good days that my life will bring, and ready to deal with all the bad that it will also bring, because I know I can make it through it. You know, and that's one of the things I talked about this yesterday briefly, but just that's one of the nice things about working out is when you work out, you give yourself a hard task to do, and when you make it through that hard task, you know that you can make it through the next hard task. And like I said, it seems a little silly to apply working out to just regular parts of life, but it does help you get that mindset of, hey, I'm gonna push through this hard thing, and whatever you're going through, you just gotta push through it, and then remember to look back though when you're done with whatever yesterday was or whatever today brings you. Take a moment to look back and look at yourself in the moment and realize, hey, I made it through that. I made it through yesterday, and I'm going to make it through today. I'm still here. I'm still able to think. I am still able to process, and I'm going to, move on. And I'm going to figure out a way to be happy today in this moment. And that's a big thing I think about, like self-actualization, is you've got to learn how to be happy in the moment that you are. And in this moment where you're at, you got to figure out, okay, like I'm okay. I'm going to figure this out, and life is going to move on, and it's going to be better, because that's like in the end, things do get better if you give it time. Sometimes giving things time is the hardest part. I think why I think that it's possible. That's why God made sunsets and sunrises so beautiful. Is that you can watch that sunset in the morning and be like, yes, that's beautiful. It's gonna be a beautiful day. You can watch the sun or sunrise in the morning. You watch the sunset at night, and it's a beautiful start and a beautiful end. And you can realize that it's gonna start all over tomorrow, but it can, the chance for beauty in a day is always there. You know, even let's say you're in a bad spot, like let's say you got hurt, you had some catastrophic injury, you're laying in a hospital. One thing you can look around and see is you're surrounded by people who decided their life mission was to help other people. And you can see the beauty in the nurses, you can see the beauty in the doctors, and you can see the beauty in the orderlies. You can see beauty in the volunteers that come through just to hold people's hands and help them through the rough times. There is beauty and love to be seen all around if you just look for it. All right. I'm gonna go down to the 40 pounds. So your hair looks fabulous when you go to the barbershop. What do you tell them? It says Polybox too. So this actually is my own haircut. Wait, no, this last one my wife did, but my wife just started trying to learn how to cut my hair so that she can cut her kids' hair. But I've been cutting my hair myself for years. But basically, this one is the number 10 on top and a number 4 on the sides. This haircut's like this is like a week old haircut, or a week and 3-day old haircut. But pretty basic. About 10 on the top, 4 on the sides. I used to go with 3 on the sides, but my hair started thinning out on the back, and that Doesn't show up if I do a 4. So I do a 4. You just look like Ben Affleck. Well, thank you. I've never been told I look like Ben Affleck before. My mom and they used to say I looked a little like Matt Damon. Just a little bit. I've got a brother though. I got a little brother that looks just like Heath Ledger. Like, they look so similar, especially from the movie 10 Things I Hate About You and A Knight's Tale. Um, it's crazy how much he looks like Heath Ledger. He was getting his hair cut once with my grandma, and the lady cutting his hair told my grandma to the side that she was so nervous because she'd never cut a movie star's hair before. And that's how much he looks like Heath Ledger that she thought she was cutting Heath Ledger's hair. Which could also mean that she was crazy, because the likelihood that Heath Ledger was going to walk into a random shop in Northern California was pretty low. Yeah, if you want to save a lot of money in life, learning how to cut your hair is an easy way to do it. And it's nice to go to a barber shop still. Like if I've got something like a wedding or something where it needs to look like perfect, still go to a barber shop. But if you don't have something really important to go to, learning how to cut your own hair will save you tons of money. Because when I'm working in a professional setting, I probably get a haircut like every 2.5 to 3 weeks. And now that's like a $35, $45, haircuts. So I've probably easily saved almost $1,000 every year in cutting my own hair. And it's not that hard. Ways to make a lot of money. I'm currently having financial problems. Man, the only way I know is a surefire way to make lots of money is working yourself to death. That's been my experience of making money. I would say get yourself a job where there is ample opportunity to move up. It's part of getting money. Make sure that they appreciate their employees and it has good benefits. And that can be any job. Just a place where if you work hard, you can move up. If you end up in a position or a place where that's not an option, like leave that place. If the person that's in charge of promotions is also someone that you have a personality clash with, or they don't appreciate your personality, or if they're a weak person and they only promote weak people, then get out of that job. Go find another job. You have to be willing to go find good places. But if you work hard, you give 110%, you'll make money, and you'll find, especially today, you'll find people that want to promote you. You just got to get away from bad companies. Don't get stuck in a position.
I sleep only 4 to 5 hours each day, and I'm in school. Yeah, that is a rough one, man. I've been there. Um, I used to go to school full time, work full time, and then I was also involved in my church. So I was in like church leadership full time, and man, it is rough, and the money side is rough. Like the worst was buying school books. Um, like if I bought school books, it ate so far into my money. Um, that was rough. So yeah, we're in that 4 to 5 hours each day. Or sorry, sleeping only 4 to 5 hours each day and being in school. That's unfortunately that if you don't come from means or you know you didn't nail those scholarships, that's the only way to get through it. Is you have to work, you have to study hard at the same time. And you got to do that for depending on what you're doing, man. 2, 4, 6, 8 years. Just don't get yourself stuck on student loans though. Go go to school cheap as long as you can. Like I tell people, we have a good local JC. If you can go to junior college those first 2 years, you'll save so much money. If you jump right into a 4 year, oh man, you're gonna be paying a lot. But it makes you like work harder, man. I mean, it makes it better when you get further on in life. Like going through that in school made it easy to work like 60 hour, 80 hour weeks. When I was on salary, I could easily pull 70 hours a week. Um, probably boxes respect and thanks, sir. I'm out from Twitch now. He took off. In case still there, yeah, like the that time that you spend in college or studying definitely helps you like when it comes to real world like working. All right. I only managed 13 reps on that last set, the 40s. Just give it a second. Normally I'd go down in 30s, but I want to hit that 40s one more time. I'm just giving myself a second to breathe. Got that water. Try another set. That's 12. All right, and the 30 pounds. Now that's 18.14 kilograms. What's up, Copa Man? Copa Man Slow. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. Just cruising along at the tail end of doing the bench press. How you doing, Copa? How is France these days? It's hot and political problems, so not very well. At least I can go out or go to swim soon, I guess. Yeah. Do you live near the coast? Yes, I do. Um, Man, I know a bunch of our guys went. We're just there for the D-Day celebration. Bunch of some of these guys are like pushing 100 years old. Did you see any of the celebration of the anniversary of D-Day when everyone stormed the beaches of Normandy? Do I know how to swim? Yes. Yeah, I love swimming. I love swimming. I love surfing. I love whitewater rafting. One of these days, I would love to get into scuba diving. Haven't really done that, but no, I very very much enjoy swimming. Do you swim as a sport? Like, do you do lap swimming at all? I keep forgetting that you guys are going to be hosting the Olympics this summer, or in a little bit. I'm gonna switch to chest flies real fast. There's like a whole conversation All right, is that better? I think my mic died. One of my mics died. There we go. I don't know where I lost you, but I'll just go back to your last question. Yes, I know how to swim. I do swim. I surf. I do whitewater rafting. I was talking briefly about the Olympics, how you guys are going to have the Olympics there, and how like there's an interesting talk about the Olympics and the World Cup. Surfing is scary. Um, Depends on where you do it. Surfing doesn't have to be scary. It can be pretty chill. You just gotta find the right spot. I think skateboarding can be scarier than surfing. If you skateboard, surfing can be pretty chill. Skateboard is also scary. My sister's leg was broken because of skating. Yeah, says Couple Man. Yeah, that's why I think skateboarding is a lot rougher to me than surfing. I can take on a 10-foot wave and be fine. I can take on a 6-foot wave and be fine. But if I had to drop, 4 feet into a bowl and I wipe out, you can crack your collarbone. I don't know how many guys I saw when I was a kid had broken shoulders and collarbones from skateboarding. It was a pretty typical thing to see. There was one guy in our school. I really hope he made it as a skater because he constantly had things that were broken from skating. I mean, I went to school. It was the mid '90s, and the modern skateboard and modern tricks was just becoming bigger and bigger. Like it was the heyday for Tony Hawk. So people were breaking things right and left, trying to be like Tony Hawk. Street skating was a big thing, and there weren't a lot of skate parks. So I've wiped out pretty hard surfing, and I started surfing when I was 13, so 25 years of off and on surfing. I've only gotten hurt once. Once my fin sliced me, but that was the only real injury I ever had surfing, was getting sliced by my fins. It wasn't even bad, and it looked cool. I mean, nothing is cooler than saying you got sliced by your fins and having a nice nice cut from it. You're like, oh yeah, that's from my surfboard. Yeah, I surf. You know, and especially because when people think about surfing, they think about people that are good at surfing. So if you say you surf, they think like, oh, you must be a good surfer, and that automatically gets put on you. And they don't see what it looks like when you really surf. But even bad surfing can look good. So like you don't have to be able to do all the tricks. And you know, if you get on some big waves, it doesn't matter about the tricks. It matters about how long you can make that ride last. Plus, it helps to like pick your board well. I surf primarily longboard. I prefer a board that's 8 to 10 feet. Uh, and big reason is it's a lot easier to catch waves on a longboard than a short board. You're more guaranteed to ride. And if you're surfing in SoCal, it's super crowded in Southern California for surfing. So if you can paddle out further, um, you can paddle out further on a longboard, so you get more access to waves, and you get a better chance of like catching a wave. And the guys on the short board, they're gonna be close to the shore, so they're not gonna be trying to snake the wave that you're getting on, because where you're at, it doesn't look as big, but then it'll build up as it gets close to the shore and be a lot of fun. But that's why surfing in Northern California can be better, because more people are scared about surfing in Northern California because we have more great whites up here. Like one place I surfed, it's 17 miles, nautical miles, from one of the biggest great white shark breeding grounds. So a lot of people get scared about sharks, but in Northern California and California, it's only like 2 attacks every year, and only one attack every 5 years is fatal. So your chances of dealing with a shark are pretty low. Unlike if you're on the East Coast and you're down in Florida, or you're in Hawaii, or you're in Australia or South Africa, your chances go up. Here it's not so bad. All right. That's it for me on time today. I gotta take off. Thanks for stopping by, Copa. Thank you for everyone watching. Hope you have a good day, and hope you get some swimming done. Hope I love swimming. I love swimming on open water, like at the ocean and stuff, or in a river that's long and like deep. It's a lot of fun. There's this place in NorCal called Cool. That's the actual name of it, Cool. And there's like a river near there. And there's like a swimming pool. We were like randomly found when I was a little kid, and I wish I could find it again because there was like a rock shelf, and you could just, it was perfectly clear water. Like you could swim down to super deep, and it was a lot of fun. Finding great places to swim on rivers is awesome. So, all right, thank you guys. God bless you. Take care.